Hey everybody, this is Rydo, and we are back with another recording session of Hearthstone. What was that about Mogre Org down here? This one kind of snuck up on me. He apparently just got a legendary card, I think. Busting open card packs. Oh, I didn't know that they now announced that. Let's look at the tavern brawl. We've already done this one, so we don't have to worry about that. Good. So then we just need to win 5 games with the Hunter, I suppose, deal 100 damage to the enemy heroes, and then win 2 games between the Rogue and Warrior. So today we'll just be playing ranked mode or casual mode to the Hunter. Yeah, that makes sense. This recording session kind of snuck up on me. I took a day off where I did really no thinking whatsoever about this YouTube channel, which is kind of the first time I've done that since starting. Maybe,
You asked for it.
probably not the first time, there's probably been a couple other times, but it's not like I take weekends off or even one day a week off. I'm usually, if not recording, thinking about it and trying to schedule things, trying to put things ready to go out. I've just finished Warcraft and the Guardian of Light, which, while a fine game in itself, oh, that's nice. I like that. I like it. It's too short because of its arcade style in which they wanted you to play the levels multiple times. I spent practically equal or more time off screen playing the game than I did actually playing it on screen, and I still at the end of that series was saying we've been going on too long. The DLC is garbage. I've actually looked at what the cost of the DLC on it for $4 for a Kane and Lynch character pack and $4 for a Legacy of Kane character pack is ridiculous because it barely changes anything at all. You just play as those characters, and there's a very, I'd say less than 5 minutes worth of cutscenes in the entire game that are changed.
Job's done.
And they just throw in audio files that they found from previous games, I'm not certain, so they didn't really make anything new, and they're charging way too much. If you got it for free, you might want to play with it, but still barely worth it.
This is our time.
The challenge packs are so unpolished levels that I don't see any reason why you would particularly enjoy playing them either. Yeah, so the main game's fine by itself, but then the irony there is the sequel to the Guardian of Light is Warcraft and the Temple of Osiris. It wasn't in the Warcraft bundle on Steam, either because that bundle was made new or because it was so badly reviewed. And so I would have to go buy that game separate, and I already know it's it's badly reviewed, to play it and cover it. So that's way at the bottom of the list, probably below the line of a game I'd actually bother getting. Then the newest thing is the Warcraft Go game, which is real short too, but better. There we go, that'll work. So yeah, I did that series. Hopefully that comes out
Want a deal?
before the reboot, the sequel to the reboot of Tomb Raider comes out, so there's more let's see. kill this just to power this up. So, as far as Tomb Raider games, it's highly unlikely that I could get in and out in time, anytime around when a new game comes out. So instead of focusing on Tomb Raider, I can now start focusing on some other stuff. Trying to look at the ratings a little bit now. Trying to get things to maybe slightly better follow the pattern
The beasts obey me.
Let's see. Oh, that worked pretty well. So we'll just do the face. I suppose I could have killed these guys, but used 2 to kill this one. I don't think it's necessary. If this one stays alive, then I'll play this and win on that one alone. That gets him down to 1. He can't win. So the next game I'm gonna start recording is Vanishing the Beef with Barter, which is an interesting experiment because in the meanwhile, after I bought the game, they released a remake in Unreal Engine 4, yeah. And that means there's actually 2 now versions of the game that I can play back to back, which is probably good considering that's a pretty short experience. In that time slot, I'm finding the series, at least recently, not being super long. So even though I may have done something for that time slot, I may have to do something right for that time slot again, because the main AAA title games I've played enough, I believe, all the way to January, whereas some of the other time slots are ending in the middle or at the end of November, so I need to find another month's worth of content
Begin. I will
to
hunt
squeeze
you down.
into Season 4. Lara Croft still is in Season 3, but by the time Lara Croft is over, I believe whatever replaces it will be considered Series 4. Series 3 is what has just recently started airing, and there we go. It's basically Tomb Raider series, because that is the AAA game that we're playing, is the 2013 reboot of Tomb Raider. I still very much have the problem of having way more games that I need to play, and it is a growing problem in the sense that I'm getting more and more free games. So eventually you're gonna see, either if I do it really well, I'll mix in these free games, because none of them look like, I haven't heard of them. None of them look like they're gonna be great. So it's gonna be this weird I'm gonna be covering games that nobody's ever heard of, which might be a great thing. It might also just be a colossal waste of time, but it builds out my channel, so I can't really complain that much. Go ahead and attack the face. So I guess I want to stay with the Telltale time slot. That's one question. Last night I was just looking at what I wanted to replace these with. We're getting kind of samey on the style of games. I haven't really been great about branching out. Like, I've never done a fighter game because, one, there's not a real reason. I'm not a good enough fighter game type player, so all I could do is run through any story mode, and it would probably be pretty frustrating for very little stories. But there's a bunch of other styles of games that I have just not played. Getting the Telltale collection certainly has put me down this path where one time slot for at least another 6 months is just gonna be point and click adventures, and then it will be this weird situation where there really won't be any point and click adventures. People might say, well, you used to do these point and click adventure games, and I'm like, well, yeah, I've done one. Let's see. Not totally true. You can't just get the Telltale collection, and that's every single point and click adventure, but that is a big chunk of them. The newest Minecraft story mode game is about to come out. That's not something I'm willing to buy right now. Lego Dimensions hasn't come out for PC, and I kind of would have wanted to play that, but from my own personal perspective, as a fan of the Traveler's Tales games of Lego, which is what it's the same style of gameplay if it's not the same people that made it, which it probably is. I haven't checked. The Lego Dimensions adds that very nasty version of Toys to Life, where there are certain spots in almost every level from what I've seen. I've looked at like a guy played just a few hours of it at the beginning, and already you can see spots where it says you need a specific character to get through this area. Well, that kind of character is not included with the base game. So the base game comes with 3 types of characters: Wild Style, Batman,
The beasts will baby.
not the Batman, Batman from the Batman Lego games, and Gandalf from Lego, what is it? Something of the Ring, Fellowship of the Ring series, yeah. Lord of the Rings type thing. I don't remember the name of that series. Okay, but then you'll come across things that say you have to have a Ghostbuster character to go through this area, or you have to have a Scooby-Doo character to go through this area, for example.
Well played.
And then from the main hub world, there are the portals that say you have to have you have to go by the level pack expansion. And there's like 3 different tiers of Lego toys that expand on Uh, there are character packs that are the cheapest that just give you like one character Lego figurine and a vehicle that can be ridden, but they don't add any levels or any content to the game other than you play as those characters, which is kind of ridiculous because in previous Lego games you got that stuff just by playing the game.
Rexa
And
versus Malfurion.
Then the level packs you get
Let
like
the
a character
hunt begin.
or two and a vehicle and a extra level, which who knows, I haven't seen the extra levels, so I don't know if they're big or if they're small or if they're decorative levels that don't really have a mission in them, or if they're mission levels that actually have a goal. So if it came to PC, I think maybe eventually I'd play it, but I would much rather just play some of the older Lego games, because the older Lego games required no purchasing of actual Legos, and that's, I think, how it should be done, because it's too expensive. It's just too expensive to buy a video game and buy a bunch of Legos. I have a moderate collection of Lego sets, and I like them, but I always know when I look at them that they were very expensive, and all they do is I put the sets together and put them on my shelf. So I consider them basically like decorations, like a fancy plant or something that you don't have to water. Which also makes me very picky. I only pick things that I want. Very specific things. And so actually I have probably 5 sets and I only want probably 3 or 4 more. I want the Death Star, which is the most expensive of all the possible sets. I want the new Scooby-Doo van mystery machine because I think that'd be cool. There was a Jabba the Hutt's palace set that's out of sale and had a bit of a controversy because people thought it looked too much like a mosque that actually exists.
Not a mistake.
That was a mistake, alright. There you go. Let's see if this works. I need this to work. Darn it. That's it. So hit him in the face as much as we can. What else would I want as far as... what I would do otherwise for Legos is I think I don't decorate for Christmas because I think it's silly to decorate for one day out of the year for all the effort and stuff. But I think if I could get a nice Christmas village set, because they do make some Lego sets in Christmas. You have like an ice rink where people are skating, a winter village type decoration. Things like that were popular to decorate houses, at least in the old days. And then I would like to get like one Lego train set just to have a train. I'm not a super fan of trains or electric trains. Those are very special people in my mind that do like trains, because you really are just watching something go around in circles. That's not gonna work for my ADD type But beyond that, that's about as much Lego as I want in my life. I don't want to get super crazy with it. I don't want to become a minifig collector that collects every single minifig. I tried it. I have managed to decorate my nerd
obey me.
what was it? No, my nerd cave pretty well balanced. It's full of movies and video games and comic books and Legos, so it's pretty balanced. Nothing really overpowers anything else. And movie nerddom is a strange thing because really, if you're a fan of one TV series, like Doctor Who, you could fill a room with just Doctor Who stuff. But I just generalize and say, well, the movies that I do like, I have, and there really isn't that many of them. Probably a lot more than most people have these days. I'm still somewhat in the belief that you should have DVDs, Blu-rays of your movies, because there's still the fear that people are going to lose the rights to them, that they're going to go out of sale, out of print for even popular movies, or they're going to just try and resell it to you over and over again.
I can fix
Netflix
anything.
certainly helps a lot, but there are definitely things on Netflix that I look at and say, well, that's one I want to always have on
A
hand.
natural mistake.
Like Existence is one I want to have on Blu-ray. I don't know if it has come out on Blu-ray yet. It probably has, but I haven't bought any Blu-rays in a while, so I'm kind of not even actively
Right on
expanding
time.
my library. But that was on Netflix, and then it was on came back, and I just, some shows I want to always have on hand. I want them to be available to show other people. And you always have to also think to yourself, well, who knows if those Blu-rays are always going to be playable. DVDs, Blu-rays do get scratched. There is such thing as plastic
Sorry.
deteriorating. And this is hardly backup quality
the beast in my
copies. And so then the next option is digital backups of everything, which is just a ridiculously too much space when you're talking Blu-rays. Blu-rays are 25 gigs each. You'd be using up a 5 terabyte hard drive for 20 movies. If the math is right there. 20 discs to be more accurate. I think I've got the here.
Sorry about that.
He turned it around. If I could have just done 2 more damage. Well, I think he deserves this victory. He turned it around. So when I was looking at the things that were scheduled and their age ratings, it's kind of weird because I felt that almost all the games were going to end up being more rated M for mature. But some of the games do seem like they're rated teen. Some of them seem to be rated E10 plus, and I'm like, really?
Rexa
I didn't realize
versus
that.
Valera.
So
Watch your
maybe the rating
Let
system
the
has
hunt
on video
begin.
games has gotten is laxer than what my own mind would rate things, that could certainly be the case. Because my 7 p.m. time slot is when I'm really going for the scariest, the potentially scariest, most mature game.
Feed the fish,
Which,
landlubber.
when you're talking to Witcher 3, wasn't in that slot because it was a AAA game. AAA games all stay in their own slot. So I might have a little bit of trouble squeezing all the M games into the later hours, and I might also have the exact opposite problem of squeezing all the non-M games into earlier slots. So it's all gonna just kind of bounce around, I think. I don't think I can be as consistent as I probably would like to be.
Job's done.
Excuse me. So we'll do this, and do this, and then attack.
Job's done.
So he'll probably waste his next attack on this. So let's go ahead and play this and hope we can charge.
Job's done.
Nope, we don't. So we'll attack the base and then return. Time is definitely getting away from me as playing these old games. Even though the newest of the new games that I got are getting older and older by the second for me to get them out in any reasonable amount of time.
Job's done.
New games are making it just harder and harder. Fortunately, there aren't that many new games out quite yet. I think I saw that the Stanley Parable guy made a new game, which is
Go ahead.
so
Make my
I'd
day.
like to play that at some point. But right now, the ad revenue is just so low. I think I've already said this recently, but yeah, it's just, I can't see myself doing new games. I can't see myself doing Fallout 4. I've got so many games that, yes, in theory, if I had a big old pile of cash handed to me somehow, I could just start buying the new games and push like the Tomb Raider series and BioShock and Borderlands and Deus Ex. I could push all of those on the back burner and just say, well, I'll get around to playing those eventually.
Job's done.
Since that's probably not going to happen, the current plan is to use those as not quite filler, but retrospectives, and it's making my channel be this more of a retrospective channel in which we look at slightly older games than a just average YouTuber who is only covering games.
The beasts obey me.
Job's done.
Something with charge. Nope. Well, I think I just lost.
Well played.
Just lost. That might be a good niche to do. Playing old games might be a good niche. What is my fear, and I think is the problem, we'll play one more game, is that, let's say somebody covered Bioshock 1. Let's say that somebody was PewDiePie, or somebody like that. Just somebody huge. And then let's say that person, because he's huge, has millions of subscribers. Let's just say 1 million subscribers. And he got, let's say, 7 million views on all his videos for Bioshock. I don't know, but I have to kind of assume that what happens there is when somebody goes and types in Bioshock, they get PewDiePie's video at the very top, and I think he probably deserves to be at the very top. But then let's say there was a million other people who did similar videos and got less than PewDiePie, but way more than what I have. Where does my video end up when I record Bioshock years and years later? Does it get knocked up a little bit because it's new? Or is it way at the bottom of the search results and thus nobody sees it? Now, YouTube claims it tries to customize and kind of randomize things, but I'm not sure. I'm really not sure. And that's where you would want just, let's see, which one should I play? This one? To be the very first person out, because it is a snowballs effect. There's undeniably, if you get a new video, if you get early access to a video game, and it's only you, everybody that's heard about that game or just randomly comes across it is going to see your video. Your video is going to have more views than anybody else because you have early access and there is nobody else. And because of all of those things combined, you are going to see it. But that's almost only for early access games. If you're talking specifically getting a game the day it comes out, well, you're just in competition with everybody else that's trying to get it the day it comes out, and that is quite a lot of people. So you'll be in the running, but it will be definitely a different race than if you got early access. And I suspect if the day it comes out is a different race, I bet a week later is a different race, and I bet years later is a very, very different race. I'm not sure there is any kind of curve where a year later actually helps. I'm doing my best on it. I'm doing Tomb Raider because Tomb Raider 2 is coming out. If a new Bioshock game was announced tomorrow, I assume that would help and motivate to cover the old Bioshock. Interesting. Actually helped.
Well fought. I concede.
Oh, he concedes. Let me finish the game. Well, that's fine with me. we'll do one more game, I guess, since he conceded. We're at 3,335. I hate when we get on these fives of gold.
Rexa versus Valera.
So I guess that's really just a long way to say I may be wasting my
Let the
time,
hunt
but that's
begin.
kind of my channel in a nutshell, isn't it? There is always the potential, the danger that you're just wasting your time. But not super worried about that. I saw a bit of an uptake as far as ad revenue. Last 7 days, $1.80 plus in revenue, which is ridiculous for an entire 7-day period worth of work to only get less than $2. But what that does put me into is I am now in the realm. If it just stayed around, if it stayed over $2 for all of next year, then I would at least hit the $100 worth of income minimum that Google requires before they actually pay you for anything. So don't forget that if you don't make $100, they won't pay you. Just straight up. They'll just hold it in theory forever. So I haven't ever received a check or anything yet, but the growth rate is still very much encouraging. If it gets from $2 this 7 days, if that gets up to starting to average around $4 in a month,
One shot.
that would be great. If that's $4 to $8, which again I'm hoping and believe it is a snowball effect. Something like that could easily happen. That wasn't the right card to play, but I should have played this. It helps out. It helps when the growth goes up. If it got to $8 a week, great. If it got to $16 a week, even greater. If it got to 32, even greater. 32 is when you start thinking real money. Because 32 is 3 weeks you're actually receiving a paycheck from every 3 or 4 weeks. That's a monthly actual income. If it gets to 62, then you're getting a paycheck every 2 weeks. It's still a tiny amount, but at least you're reaching levels that would be realistic to a real life. Darn it, I wanted that card too. See, I can bring out the owl, but I don't think it's worth it. So let's put a coin and do this. It's probably not worth using the coin for that, but we'll do it. So I imagine he could kill this by attacking with both his face and this guy. And if it gets down to, if it gets up to 50, 60, 70, $80 a week, $80 a week
Locked and
is
loaded.
like the 1/10 marker of the goal. That is 1/10 of what my goal would be. Just silence somebody for
Job done.
Eventually I want it to be $80 a day or slightly more. I think $200 a day is probably too much to expect or hope for, but if you could get to $80 a day, you're talking a
They'll never
minimum
know
wage
what
type job there. $7.25 is what it is right now in the United States. $7.25 times 8 hours is, well, 65 something dollars. So $80 a day would be over minimum wage, but it is about what you want as far as actual in reality, because you can't really live on minimum wage.
Pass me that arc light spanner!
Am I gonna win this one? I don't know. So I don't know the
beasts obey
how
me.
people can help
Done.
with that and get me to that goal. I've talked about it before, but this is kind of a thing I just will repeat on Hearthstone over and over again. Is I just need more subscribers. Subscriber count is growing, good. I think I'm over 40 subscribers now. I would like to see it get to
One shot,
like
one
100 if we could by the end of the year. I'd like to see that 100 start snowballing and getting more subscribers too. I would like to see it get up to eventually 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers, maybe even up to 1 million at the most. If I can get to 1 million
soon.
subscribers, so many people would be watching videos that the ad revenue would cover. But then that has to be subscribers that people actually watch. So there's really nothing a fan of mine can do other than talking to their friends and actually getting them to subscribe and watch my series. That helps. If you tell your friends just go subscribe, you don't ever have to watch any of the videos, well, YouTube will eventually unsubscribe you from me, and it doesn't help any.
Well played.
So the only thing I can say is encourage people to share my channel on their Facebooks and friends and get their friends to really check it out and really watch it. That's about it. It's way easier if somebody wants to support me for them just to donate. Anywho, that's gonna be the end of this recording. So, as always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment if you want to, and to watch every second of my videos. If you know some way to improve views or ad revenue on YouTube, let me know in the comments. Speaking of donating, if you click on my name Rydo, that takes you to my main YouTube page. On the right is a blue button that says support this channel. Click it, make a donation. And if you want a friend or follow me, which is very helpful too, there's a bunch of social media links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.